Okay, so let's make sure we understand everything about this first question here. So a line has an equation y equals 3x plus 4. So let's draw a line that has that equation using desmos.com. So we go y equals 3x plus 4. Now, it's asking us what is a gradient and what is the y-intercept. Now, the gradient just means how steep is the line, and the y-intercept means where does it cross the y-axis. What's the y-axis? The y-axis is the vertical line here. So we can cheat a little bit here and just find out what the y-intercept is first before we look at the gradient. And we can see it crosses it at 0, 4. Of course, the first coordinate is bound to be 0 because all of the y-axis is going to be 0 because it's where the x is 0. So when x is 0, what is y going to be? Y is 4. Let's have a look at why that is actually. So if I know what I'll do first is I need to first make clear about what do we mean when we plot a line that says y equals 3x plus 4. Well, if I look at any coordinates, any set of coordinates on this line, then it's a bit difficult to get exactly right here, but I want to show you that I want to get that to have equal to, let's have it equal to 5. I can't get it exactly right, frustratingly. I know why. So okay. So basically, let's say what it means is that at any point on this line, I can calculate what y is if I know what x is. So, for example, if x is equal to 1, then what would y be equal to? Well, it would be equal to what? So y would be equal to 3 times what x is, and x is 1. So 3 times 1, and then plus 4. Well, 3 times 1 is 3, and then you add 4, and that's 7. So it just means, so for a start, it means that when x equals 1, then y will equal 7. So let's see if that's right. So we're just looking for when x equals 1 on here. Really tricky to get it exactly right. But I can't get it. There we go. Look, you can see that x is equal to 1, y is equal to 7. And the same with every single point on this line. At all points on this line, the relationship between y and x is that y will equal to 3 times x plus 4. So when you think about it, if the y-intercept is when x equals 0, then I just have to say, well, what would y be when x equals 0? Well, it's going to be 3 times 0 plus 4. Well, which means you can forget about this first bit here, and you can see that y is equal to 4. Now, all straight line graphs will look like this. The equation for the straight line graph will always be y equals something times x plus something. Well, when I say they all look like that, you can make them all look like that. Sometimes you have to rearrange it, but they could all be written in this format. So something times x plus something. Now the somethings could be 3, so it could be 3x, like this example here, and it could be plus 4, but it could be a number of different things. So if I change this around, we know now that this number here is where the y-intercept is. So if I went y equals 3x plus 3, it intercepts the y-axis at 3, right? This one intersects it at 4. And of course, what about if I did y equals 3x minus 2, then it intersects it at minus 2. Okay? So those are the, that's what this gap is there. Okay, so if I went to that, So that bit there, I'm trying to get a pen. Pen, please. Okay, hang on. It's just disconnected, hasn't it? That's what's going on. So, right, there we go. So that bit there is the y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis. Okay? You got all this? Are you making notes? Okay, cool. So this bit of all the equations is where it crosses the y-axis. Now, what about this bit here? Well, let's play around with it on our example here. So we'll turn this one off, and we just got the. You can see, by the way, that they all have the same gradient. They're all just as steep as each other. I know they're all just as steep as each other because they're all parallel. They've all got the same angle, right? Now, if I were to change this green one from a 3 to a 2, you can see it gets less steep. To a 1, it gets less steep again. What about to 0.5? Even less steep. So that means that that this number is the gradient. So whatever says the amount of x's, that's the gradient. In other words, the steepness. Let's have to move this a moment. The steepness. And this bit is the y-intercept. They also often have a letter. They're given a name. So rather than just put a gap like that, we can call the gradient m. And so maybe I can make this green now. And let's do that. So and this one we call c. So we can say that the equation for a straight line is y equals mx plus c. So where m gives us the gradient, in other words, how steep the line is, and c gives us the y-intercept. Now I won't go into this at this stage what we really mean by the gradient of 2 or 3 or 1 or 10, apart from if it's a large number, it's a steep gradient, and if it's a low number, it's a low gradient. Let's just, before I sign off the video, I want to just just show you what it would mean if it was a negative gradient. So we'll just get this blue line, and it is at the moment y equals 3x plus 3. Let's make it y equals negative 3x plus 3. You can see the slope goes downwards. The size of the number 3 is the steepness, so it's just as steep as the red line, but it's in the opposite direction. It's going down, whereas the red one's going up. Okay, so that's a brief overview. We'll have a look at some practice of these, how to apply it now.